My Cousin Vinny, 1992, might look like a simple courtroom comedy, but behind the scenes, it was full of chaos, surprises, and wild twists. Did Marissa Tomei really win that Oscar fair and square? Was Joe Pesci almost replaced? And how did a comedy about two cousins in trouble end up becoming a law school classic? In this video, we'll break down 20 weird facts about My Cousin Vinny, from deleted scenes and wardrobe accidents to casting changes and real-life controversies that even the biggest fans never noticed. Fact 1. The real judge almost played himself. Believe it or not, the filmmakers once considered casting an actual Southern judge as Judge Chamberlain Haller. Writer Dale Launer wanted the movie to feel as authentic as possible, so while scouting real Alabama courtrooms, he met a judge whose commanding presence inspired him to suggest, why not let him play himself? The idea was quickly shut down. Studios didn't want an untrained actor in such an important role, and legal experts warned it could cause ethical issues. In the end, Fred Gwynne was cast, and he nailed it. After studying real court footage, his performance was so convincing that many viewers thought he really was a judge. Fact 2. Joe Pesci almost turned down the role. It's hard to picture anyone but Joe Pesci as Vincent Gambini. But he almost said no. Fresh off Goodfellas and his Oscar win, Pesci worried that doing a loud comedy would hurt his image as a serious actor. But writer Dale Launer and director Jonathan Lynn convinced him that Vinny wasn't just a clown. He was sharp, clever, and smarter than everyone in the room. Pesci finally agreed, and once he did, he went all in, improvising lines, perfecting the accent, and giving the role his trademark fire. The result? A fan-favorite performance that proved he could own both drama and comedy with equal power. Fact 3. The deleted ending that almost changed everything. Originally, My Cousin Vinny was supposed to end differently. In a deleted scene, Judge Haller offers Vinny a permanent job as a legal consultant in Alabama, a tidy reward for his courtroom brilliance. But test audiences didn't like it. They felt it went against who Vinny was, a rebellious New Yorker who didn't play by the rules. Director Jonathan Lynn agreed and scrapped the idea. That's why the movie ends the way it should, with Vinny and Mona Lisa driving off, loud, chaotic, and completely true to themselves. Fact 4. The tape recorder that stirred a real legal debate. One of My Cousin Vinny's smartest moments revolves around a simple tape recorder. But its impact is huge. When Vinny secretly records Sheriff Farley admitting the tire marks could belong to another car, the case flips completely. Yet lawyers have debated for years whether that recording would hold up in court. In Alabama, only one-party consent is needed, so Vinny's taping was technically legal. Still, critics note that the way the evidence was presented and the lack of proper discovery could have made it inadmissible or even sparked a mistrial. Today, law professors use the scene to teach ethics, courtroom strategy, and chain of custody rules. It's a rare moment where clever storytelling and real legal principles collide, proving that knowing the law isn't just about degrees, but about understanding how it works in practice. Fact 5. Joe Pesci caused a real courtroom scare. While filming a scene in a real Georgia courthouse, Joe Pesci got so into character that his improvised legal-heavy lines fooled a court intern into thinking an actual trial was being disrupted. At one point, Pesci shouted, "Are you seriously telling me that two cars with the exact same tire marks came through here like synchronized swimmers?" The intern objected loudly, forcing production to pause while he was escorted out. The incident quickly became courthouse gossip, with staff joking that Pesci should have been held in contempt. Fact 6. Mona Lisa's pink tuxedo was a happy accident. Mona Lisa's pink tuxedo during her courtroom testimony is one of the film's most memorable visuals. And it almost didn't happen. The costume department had planned a sleek, conservative outfit, but a last-minute wardrobe mix-up left only the pink satin tuxedo. Director Jonathan Lynn worried it might look too flashy, but Tomei embraced it fully, walking in with complete confidence. Fact 7. The Karate Kid connection. Even fans might not realize my cousin Vinny has a hidden link to the Karate Kid. Early in development, John G. Avildsen, the director of The Karate Kid, was attached to the project. With Ralph Macchio cast as Bill Gambini, the connection deepened. Just like Daniel LaRusso, Gambini is an underdog facing impossible odds, guided by a mentor. This time, the unconventional cousin Vinny instead of Mr. Miyagi. Both films build tension toward high-stakes showdowns. A karate tournament in one, a courtroom cross-exam in the other. Macchio's subtle performance allowed Pesci and Tomei to shine while anchoring the story, echoing the Karate Kid's theme of underestimated heroes rising against the odds. Fact 8. Marisa Tomei's transformation fooled the crew. Marisa Tomei didn't just act as Mona Lisa Vito. She completely became her. From Brooklyn to courtroom star, Tomei mastered the character's voice, movements, and style. Big hair, leopard prints, acrylic nails, she was nearly unrecognizable even to the crew. Some production members mistook her for a background extra, and the costume and hair teams spent hours each morning perfecting every detail. Tomei worked with dialect coaches, fine-tuning her voice while keeping comic timing precise. Her walk, attitude, and even the way she held her purse were rehearsed to perfection. The transformation was so convincing that fans were stunned when they saw her as herself later. Her performance won her an Oscar, proving that it was the subtle details that made Mona Lisa feel like a real, unforgettable person. Fact 9. Danny DeVito was considered for Vinny. Before Joe Pesci was cast as Vincent Gambini, Danny DeVito was a serious contender. Producers liked his short, scrappy, quick-witted style and proven comedic timing from roles in Taxi and Romancing the Stone. His talent for playing eccentric underdogs seemed perfect. As the script evolved, however, Vinny needed more than comedy. He had to be smart enough to win a murder trial convincingly. Executives worried DeVito might not be taken seriously in a courtroom, so they turned to Pesci, fresh from his Oscar win for Goodfellas. Pesci's mix of streetwise charisma, volatility, and sharp intelligence made him ideal. While DeVito would have been fun, Pesci's performance balanced humor and cleverness, giving Vinny the depth that made him unforgettable. Fact 10. A real-life lawsuit was inspired by the movie. In a strange twist, my cousin Vinny actually inspired a real legal dispute. A few years after the film's release, a man in Ohio cited it in his trial, claiming his lawyer's cross-examination was nothing like what Vinny did. The case didn't go far, but it made national headlines and sparked debate about Hollywood's portrayal of the law. Even more bizarre, a young attorney once quoted Vinny in his closing argument, "It's a simple question, Your Honor." The judge wasn't amused and privately reprimanded him for mixing fiction with professional conduct. The incident spread through legal circles and is now discussed in law schools as a cautionary tale. Ironically, My Cousin Vinny is considered one of the most accurate courtroom films ever. Professors across the U.S. now use its scenes to teach cross-examination, expert testimony, and courtroom strategy. Fact 11. The Ute transcript sparked a collecting craze. One of My Cousin Vinny's most memorable moments comes when Judge Haller, played by Fred Gwynne, asks Vinny, "What is a Ute?" referencing Vinny's thick New York accent for youths. The prop department had fun with it, creating a fake court transcript where the word Ute was typed phonetically multiple times. Only 2 copies were ever made, and neither was meant to survive filming. Years later, one surfaced at a Hollywood memorabilia auction and sold for over $6,000. Since then, reproductions have become a cult favorite among fans, especially lawyers and law students, as both a funny keepsake and a symbol of the film's blend of law and comedy. Today, the line, "What is a Ute?" appears everywhere, in classrooms, legal blogs, fan forums, and even on novelty gavels, mugs, and plaques. Fact 12. Wildlife nearly shut down a filming location. Although My Cousin Vinny is set in Alabama, much of it was filmed in rural Georgia. One courthouse and its surroundings were used for outdoor scenes, but the crew didn't expect how wild the area could get. Animal noises escalated when a lighting technician was chased by a wild boar, halting filming for a day while wildlife control intervened and safety measures were added. Some actors, including Joe Pesci, refused to walk alone after dark, and several scenes were rewritten or relocated. Ironically, the chaos added a raw, unpredictable energy that matched the courtroom drama perfectly. Fact 13. Mona Lisa's expert testimony almost got cut. Marisa Tomei's iconic courtroom monologue on traction and car suspensions nearly didn't make it into My Cousin Vinny. Executives doubted that a young woman in a pink tuxedo could deliver technically accurate, convincing testimony. One reportedly asked, "Would anyone buy this? She looks like she's going to a nightclub, not testifying in court." Screenwriter Dale Launer insisted her intelligence was the key to the scene, and director Jonathan Lynn, with his legal background, agreed. Tomei rehearsed for days with a technical advisor, perfecting timing, delivery, and pronunciation. In the end, the scene stayed, earning Tomei an Academy Award and turning Mona Lisa from comic relief into the film's secret weapon. Fact 14. Vinny's wrinkled suit was deliberately ugly. Vinny's infamous wrinkled suit, first seen in court, wasn't just for laughs. It was carefully crafted to look terrible. Costume designer Carol Ramsey explained that multiple versions were steamed, crumpled, slept on, and even stuffed in plastic bags to get the perfect ugly effect. Joe Pesci couldn't stop laughing every time he saw himself in it. The baggy fit and clashing gray-brown color made him look completely out of place. A scene even had to be reshot after he burst out laughing mid-line. The suit wasn't just a gag. It visually emphasized how out of his depth Vinny seemed, making his eventual courtroom brilliance all the more impressive. Fact 15. Vinny's legal logic was inspired by Sherlock Holmes. Vinny Gambini may not wear a deerstalker hat, but his method of solving the murder case was inspired by Sherlock Holmes. Screenwriter Dale Launer modeled Vinny's reasoning on Holmes's logical deduction, eliminating the impossible until only the truth remains. Whenever Vinny challenges a witness or raises technical doubts, he's applying the same method. In one scene, he calmly dismantles a witness's claim that she saw the suspects through a dirty window from over 100 feet away, using facts about distance, obstructions, and lighting until her confidence crumbles. Vinny applies Holmes-style attention to detail, tire marks, cooking times, car suspensions, but with street smarts, humor, and humanity. In court, his logic is his greatest weapon. His wins aren't luck, but sharp detective-level reasoning wrapped in sarcasm and denim. Fact 16. A simple line took 27 takes. In My Cousin Vinny, there's a scene where Judge Haller asks Vinny about his experience with criminal cases. Vinny stammers and gives a hilariously vague excuse about traffic violations. It's brief, but incredibly funny. What most fans don't know is that it took 27 takes to get it right. And it wasn't Pesci's fault. The extras in the courtroom gallery couldn't stop laughing. Every time Pesci delivered the line, someone would giggle or snort, and even Fred Gwynne struggled to stay serious. The crew had to rotate extras and even remove one who knocked over his bench from laughing too hard. Pesci's precise delivery, part bluff, part panic, finally worked on the take 26. The timing was perfect, and the scene landed just right. Fact 17. The original title was rejected for being too ethnic. Before settling on My Cousin Vinny, the film had working titles like Brooklyn on Trial and The Gambinis Go to Court. The latter was rejected because executives feared it sounded too ethnic and might alienate non-Italian American audiences. Screenwriter Dale Launer argued that Vinny's cultural identity was central to the humor and heart of the story. The compromise title, My Cousin Vinny, kept that charm while appealing to a wider audience. Ironically, what executives worried about became part of the movie's success. Fact 18. Fred Gwynne was cast just days before filming. Fred Gwynne, famous as Herman Munster, almost didn't appear in My Cousin Vinny. He wasn't the first choice for Judge Haller, as producers worried audiences wouldn't take him seriously after his comedic roles. Director Jonathan Lynn insisted Gwynne had the right gravitas and presence. Just days before filming, Gwynne flew in for a screen test. His calm demeanor, strong Southern accent, and commanding delivery won everyone over. He brought authority and balance to the courtroom scenes, grounding the comedy in realism. Tragically, it would be his final film. He passed away a year later, but his performance, especially the deadpan "What is a Ute" line, remains iconic in legal movie history. Fact 19. The final cross-examination is taught in law schools. Vinny's climactic courtroom cross-examination isn't just hilarious, it's studied in real law schools. Professors use it to show how to dismantle expert testimony with logic, control, and precise questioning. Vinny doesn't bully. He exposes flawed assumptions, unmeasured tire depths, wrong car models, and overlooked evidence until the prosecution's case collapses. Director Jonathan Lynn's legal background and Dale Launer's research made the scene realistic and legally sound. Even real judges have praised it. Fact 20. Marisa Tomei's Oscar win sparked a Hollywood rumor. When Marisa Tomei won the 1993 Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress, Hollywood was shocked. Competing against veterans like Vanessa Redgrave, her comedic role was seen as a long shot. Rumors quickly spread that presenter Jack Palance had read the wrong name, and the Academy was too embarrassed to fix it. The theory lingered for years, but the Academy confirmed no mistake had occurred. Price Waterhouse would have corrected it immediately. Despite the conspiracy, Tomei's performance was genuinely brilliant, layered, funny, and scene-stealing. Today, her win is celebrated as a milestone for comedic acting and women in comedy. And that's all for today's video. Which My Cousin Vinny fact surprised you the most? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'll see you next time.